Welcome. This is a new reading vlog. Me and Stella. I wish that this would turn around, but she's underneath the coffee table. Ooh, excuse me, I just burped. I'm so sorry. That was rude. Sorry. So I'm gonna prop you up like this. So, Skinny Bastard Readathon has ended. The last week was a fail, just due to technical difficulties. I did my reading sprint and somehow it did not upload. I can't figure it out. It's on StreamYard. It's there. It's there. It is there, I promise you. And then it's up on my channel as upcoming and it's scheduled to upcome and I'm like, but I've already done it. I don't know. I did download the video, so I might upload that for something saying, hey, it's not. This is what I did for the live. I don't know. But, I don't know. But I decided to scratch the last week of the Scary Bastard Readathon, especially when it was such a short week anyway for, decided to scratch it. Cut your losses when you have them, right? So, I think for, maybe not this month, but the majority of November, since it is Native American Heritage Month, right? And I've been open about me being half Native American. I know I'm white presenting because I've got lighter skin tones and I do dye my hair red, but that still does not discount the fact that I am half Native American because my dad was full-blooded. It's just my mother, when they got together, I might put a picture of them two up here, of a photo of them two together. You will see that she was Casper the Ghost White, okay? Casper the Ghost White, so it's not my fault. It's already just, I guess I took after her skin tone, but I got my dad's nose. See? Dad knows it all. Okay? Anyway, so. Obviously I gotta put that out there because I feel like there's probably gonna be somebody that's gonna say, you're native, but you're so light-skinned. Yeah, so, anyway. Putting that out there because I feel like I don't know. I'm pretty sure that there'll become a time when I don't feel like I have to do that. But since I'm re-educating myself on the things I missed out due to my dad's alcoholism, I guess I'm still in that stage of having to defend myself of yes, I am Native and stuff. I guess, but anyway, let's move on from that. I guess I trauma dump. I don't know what that was, but let's move on from it. So, I will be reading some books that are Native based, of history, and get really connected to my culture. And so I've already started maybe because I've already started this. It's called Becoming Kin. It's an indigenous call to unforgetting the past and reimagining our future. So it's by Patty. I cannot pronounce her name, I'm so sorry, but I'm already halfway through and I got tabs. I've tabbed this up. You can kind of see that. I'm sorry, my camera's not focusing. But I have also I have underlined things that really stick out to me that I feel that are relevant, and also books that she's referencing. I think I might go back and get the books that are there. So, what was the very first thing I got? Okay, so. Oh, did I not tab it? I don't think I tabbed it. Shit. Okay, this is the very first thing I tabbed. I circled it but didn't tab it. I don't know why. Sorry. It says, how can we read these histories differently and find a way to live together in peace, honesty, and respect? How can we find a way to live in the knowledge that we are all still related? How can we become better kin? Which I feel like now with this country being so... I'm going to try not to get too political because I'm not going to get political on here because I do not want to invite that over here right now. No. But I feel like nowadays, since we are so divided on everything, we can't agree to disagree on anything. Because I feel like it's okay to agree to disagree. It's okay, and just move on, or just agree to disagree. Inciting violence for anything over any choice that you make, or inciting any violence that you're against. Another thing is not right. It's it's just not right. I feel like that whole line is very, very relevant to today of what's going on in this country right now. It's just like, you know, how can we find a way to live in the knowledge that we are all related? How can we find a way, how can we become better kin? Like, how? You know, like that's something that's, you know, very, very relevant, and, you know, yeah, it's just crazy. It's just, you know, like there's just things in here that, like, that's been, you know, underlined, that I've just, you know, I might, you know, read the quotes that I've underlined maybe, like, to you guys, but I feel like that I connected with. It's just, you know, it's just very, it's like, there are things in here that, like, I'm learning that I'm like, that was never talked about in school. And from what I kind of looked up on, like, some videos and stuff like that, is that there is some stuff in here that, which is the next book, sorry, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. I think I told you guys in my YouTube short one time that my dad used to talk about this all the time. Now I don't remember specifically what he would talk about, but I remember he would always just bring it up. So obviously it was a profound thing to him, so I wanted to kind of, you know, see what the hype was about on his end. But then it's like, you know, I've also, you know, looked up that, you know, that this one girl, like, when she was reading it, she got mad at some points where she had to put it down. This other person said, yeah, that, you know, that this was his first entry into, you know, of, like, the government lies. You can't trust them at all. And that, I mean, you can't trust the government at all. They all lie. Come on, we all know that by now. And that, this stuff is not taught in schools. This is what really happened. The thing that they teach in schools is not, which I think we all know by now, like, that is accurate. The things that they teach in schools about Native culture is not correct. I don't even think, like, I remember, like, when I was in high school, like, they don't touch on Native culture at all. Even though I feel like Native culture and, like, the Battle of Little Bighorn, Wounded Knee, there's another one I cannot think of, but I feel like, you know, the colonization of Natives and how they were pulled away from their parents into these Christian schools. I don't think they're Christian schools, but in these boarding schools, and having to learn how to be white according to the colonizers that ripped them away, how the government took their lands, how they made reservations, you know, the blood quantum thing. Like, I feel like, you know, that's not touched on it, but I feel like that's such, like, a big, it's just as big as, like, you know, like, slavery, and, you know, like, we're just as big as that, but we focus on, like, the Civil War, the slavery, and World War II, World War I, World War II. Especially, I feel like I spent a lot of time on World War I and World War II. I remember a lot of us focusing on that. Like, I feel like that was, like, the biggest thing that history teachers, like, the history schools, like, the school system focuses on, because, you know, World War I and World War II was, like, you know, against, like, the Nazis, and it's a lot, you know, it's basically, like, it's white people history of, you know, it's white people history of, like, the military in the U.S., how, like, you know, that's how I kind of feel. And, like, of course, they go into the Civil Rights Act, so that's very big too. But I also feel like, you know, Native American history and culture, and how we were colonized, we were ripped away from our parents, and put in forced in these boarding schools, and forced to conform to white America at the time. I feel like that we're just as big as, you know, the slavery and in the Civil War, World War II, World War I. I feel like we're just as big as those events too, but it's just barely touched on. Of course, you go into, you know, the Pilgrims, you know, Thanksgiving, Columbus, how he discovered America, but he really didn't. It's proven he didn't. So, you know, I feel like we're not as discussed like those bigger topics are, even though I feel like we're just as big as those topics, you know. So that's crazy. Anyway, I kind of got a little deep there. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry if I got a little deep there. Honestly, I'm not really sorry, because I feel like, you know, maybe it opens people's eyes up. Well, that person's loud. I'm not sorry that I got a little deep there. I'm not. I need to stop apologizing for that, because I feel like this needs to be talked about more. It needs to be raised awareness. Like, today, actually, for the first time, because actually on my badge, I have a red hand that is for missing, murdered Indigenous women. And that, it doesn't really get touched upon, because that the thing is that I clip to my shirt, it's a little bit more big, and they always point that out, like, oh my god, that's so cute. And I'm like, okay, thanks. But I feel like that's overshadowing the badge, the little pin that I got. So I actually have a necklace that's beaded that I got from Etsy, that has a red hand, and I actually got to discuss the topic of my necklace. So I actually got to spit the fact that, you know, that we are 12 times more likely to get missing, murdered than any other people. I mean, of course, that's the same for black women as well. I'll put that out there too. It's both us Indigenous women and black women. We are 12 times more likely to go missing or murdered, or, you know, not found. So both Native American women and women of color, black women, our beautiful queens, are 12 times more likely to go missing. So I'm gonna start adding that to make sure, you know, I'm not leaving them out, because they shouldn't be left out. Got a neighbor. Still at my bark. She might not. Good girl, still not barking. And a fun fact I learned actually in this book is that natives actually used to help black people and people of color escape their white slavery people who owned them. Yes. So fun fact. So we were actually like tight. So that's cool. And I think that we need to be more together, because we both have issues on both sides with people who are prejudiced and racist against both of us. You know. So I learned that actually in this book. So we actually used to help each other, which that's awesome. I'm like, man, we've always been together, you know. We've been in the same boat. Like both of our women, both are more likely to get horrible treatment at hospitals, missing, murdered, and never unsolved, things like that, discriminated against. So we are both fighting the same thing. So anyway, I got deep again. Not sorry, because I feel like this needs to be brought to awareness. So that's all I'll be doing for, I think, the most of November, depending on how it goes, because this may be a little bit more emotional for me, since this is something that, you know, I'm relearning myself, because I was never taught it, because in public schools they don't teach anything. My dad fumbled the ball real bad because he was an alcoholic, which he had a disease. I am okay with that now. I have settled with that. There's nothing I can do about it now. Oh god, sorry. So that is what I'll be doing. And if you don't like this type of content, please don't watch. Please don't comment. If you want to unsubscribe, I don't care. Because I had a troll who tried to say, how can you be native when you guys migrated? I'm like, And of course I did comment back now to stop, because like, he's a troll. He just wanted to be heard. And it's just like, dude, there's archaeological facts and evidence that we were here before our colonization, of people who came over here on their boats from England. We've been here for a very, very long time. I'm sorry you don't know that. But you can go that way, fly away. So there's that. If you don't like this, don't watch, unsubscribe. If you like it, watch it. If you want to be on this journey with me, be on this journey with me. If you don't want to, then that's okay. It's not everyone's content, or whatever they make or whatever they put out is not their cup of tea. That's okay. So that's all I gotta say. Thank you for sitting with me. I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Hey, coming to you live. So, I learned a big major thing. Number one, it's reading this, duh. So, first chapter is basically just recounting, like, the histories and, when, Columbus got here. Just over and over again. When people come in, like, they get along, and then the settlers just come in, and they take, and then just, you know, slaughter everybody. Because they want them to conform to them. Fit in their box. And now we're reading about the chapter called The Long Walk of the Navajo. So I guess it is where the natives were living in New Mexico and how they were fighting some of the Hispanics there, the Hispanic people that was there. They fight, take their kids, and then they make deals with like the settlers across the way, and then they got to a point where they were at peace. And Stella, stop barking at Jeffy. Stella, stop. She's barking. Hang on. Can't back. I gotta put her back inside the house. So, and they were having this little race with the settlers or the white people, and then of course they rigged the game, and the natives were like, "Hey, we need to redo this. It was rigged," and things got out of hand, and they ended up setting fire to people and killing people. And then there's this one line, 'cause it's being like told by a captain, white chief captain, whatever, and he's telling what his recount of it was, and there was a line. Let me find it real quick. And basically he said he couldn't prevent him from killing the 2 innocent children and wounding wounding severely the squaw. And me, I'm thinking, oh, that's an actual like native word that natives actually use. Well, because my husband, he says it. He used to say it like he used to. He's never putting it into it. Hang on, let me get the door open because she's barking at me. Stella, stop barking. No, she just attacked my toes. Like, screw you for putting me inside that house. I'm like, get your toes. So anyway, so my husband and me, unknowingly, have been using this word squaw, because we were like, what actually, so we googled it, and us thinking it's not a bad word. Well, it's a slur, you guys. A squaw is a slur that white people came up with. It's a slur, so don't use the word squaw. We have been unknowingly using this term for years, not knowing that it was a slur against Native women. So my husband unknowingly has been calling me a slur. We learned our lessons today. We learned it. So don't use the word squaw, you guys. It's a slur. Yep. So we are learning things today. Update. So I am reading the War Comes to the Cheyenne. So I got through. Hold on, let me Sorry. So I got through the manners in the introduction, chapter 1, 2, and 3. So the first chapter basically covers, when the white settlers came in and how the natives we were all welcoming and how they took over the land. Of course, there's always someone that's so nice to them, but then there's always the other people that are like so mean and promise them something, then of course it's a lie, and then either the natives or Indians, they are forced to defend themselves somehow. They're not wanting to go to war, but they're forced to have to. For Little Crow's War, right? That one. For instance, they are on this reservation, and they are forced to defend themselves because they have no food, no water. One of the guys on White Settler said, eat grass, eat some grass. So they're forced to eat grass, and so they are forced to defend themselves. And of course, where it comes to the Cheyennes, they are having this little meeting, and one of the white settlers ends up shooting one of the natives or the Indians just for no reason at all, almost like as a setup, and the other natives are forced to defend themselves. And the Long Walk of the Navajos, that is where the Navajo Indians who were living in New Mexico, they were forcibly removed from their lands, and they were forcibly marched from New Mexico to Fort Sumner, and there was 33 300,000 of them, and then there was like, I forget the other number, but like an absorbent amount of them died due to inclement weather, starving, being sick. And then for 4 years they were in this little reservation with like barely any preservatives, water, anything like that. So they died in there too. And then they ended up like less than half of what they came with. Ended up making through the first winter when they moved back. Like, that's just so horrible. You know? Like, this is all from like 1860. This is like not that far away. This is like 3-4 generations maybe. Like, my great grandmother could have went through this, you know. Just, you know, it's like, I was watching a video of this guy reviewing the book to kind of get more out of it, I guess, you know, make sure like I'm fully like understanding what I'm reading, and it's like, it is presented in schools like, oh, Plymouth Rock and the Pilgrims, yay, but that was so long time ago. But that's like it. But then, you know, it wasn't though. It wasn't. You know, so they kind of just gloss they very much gloss over. They gloss over everything. But, and also thing pointed out is that, you know, you always hear about Indians scalping people. It's depicted in movies, and even my husband, we joke about me scalping him sometimes. But then it's like, but I am reading in this book that the white settlers are scalping the natives or the Indians. So it's in them using guns, them being violent. But you were hearing that they were always so welcoming to the people coming through. They made friends with some of them. They even let some like the white people have kids with the native women. Like, they become family in some senses, and you know, they even say like, I do not want to go to war. Let's settle this. Let's have a meeting. Let's settle this. Like, they try everything in their power to try and settle the disagreements or whatever skirmish that was going on, but yet the other side does not want to, and so they're forced to become violent. But their violent tendencies were learned from what the white settlers were doing to them. So the scalping was learned from. It came over from the Spaniards, so they learned it from them, and then we twisted it into it being a Indian thing. That's crazy. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. So yeah, that's a whole lot going on. For me to digest. Just because, you know, this reads like actual like history, you know, so it is like nonfiction, so it's actual history. So I don't know how far I'll 72 pages in. And a whole lot is just going on. Just a whole lot, you know, because it sets it up, you know, from like each, it's set up for like each like war, like the war comes to the giant from each tribe until it gets to the Wounded Knee, I guess. So each chapter is based on a certain tribe, what war atrocity that they faced. So yeah, so there's that. Yeah, a whole lot going on, a whole lot of stuff. And also, another thought, it just seems like, you know, with like the gold rush, like when the settlers find something like the gold rush, they end up setting up these towns. They just slowly end up pushing out the Indians because they want more space. They're slowly encroaching on the native space because they're finding all of the stuff like the gold rush, the enrichment of lands, how planting and things like that end up really working well. So they were just like pushing people out because they want to take over. They just like absorb everything. So they forcibly move these people out. So like, well, it's like they make up all these inventions. So we're like, I want this. You're not gonna get it. I don't know. Yeah, so there's that. A whole lot's going on. And Stella, what are you eating? Stella, stop eating stuff. Last night she didn't eat, like, she ate her food, but it was like she ate it whole. So she had a tummy ache because she was shaking real bad. And then we had to forcibly make her throw up. And then now we've come to terms with that we have to make her eat wet food, or wet her dry food. Because she likes to eat whole, I don't know why. Yeah, so there's my thoughts. I'll catch you guys later. Hey. So, excuse several things. I am congested. And the lighting is just horrible because I'm using this light because I don't want, like, whatever. And there's Della reading this. Okay, so, I'm reading. I'm on Red Cloud's War. And this is about what? It's about another Sioux tribe. So just like the chapter before, the white men came on their lands for no reason at all, and of course they protected the lands. They're not supposed to go on the lands, and they did anyway. Got into a fight, took them out. Took most of the white men out. And in this one, they are trying to arrange a treaty. So they travel this way. They're nice and kind. The white people were nice and kind to, was it Red Cloud? I forget which one, I'm sorry. There are a lot of names in here, okay? It's a lot going on, a lot to process. So, they were really nice to one of the chief's daughters that had passed along the travels. Gave a nice funeral. So they appear to, listen to the natives, and then come to find out that they were going to make a road that's going to go travel straight through their lands, and they were going to do whatever they want anyway. So this whole treaty thing is like almost like a front. Like they were going to try and play them as if like, oh, we're going to make this treaty, but really, we're gonna do whatever we want anyway, and maybe I guess they're hoping that they weren't gonna notice, but it just seems like every single time that we try and reach out, we try and reach out, and then they take the rug underneath us. So yeah. And I was reading this at lunchtime yesterday, and I read about how the white men mutilated all of the natives, and would take like their genitals off and would stretch it out and display it on their hats, and would throw a newborn baby in the back of their wagon and just keep there for days, and would cut babies out of mama's tummies. So that's a little rough. Yeah. And scalping is very much, is all over. It's basically the white man does the scalping. Like, I'm assuming, like, natives, they learned that from the white people. Like, every violent... Anyway, every violent tendency that they learned, it was from the white people, so that's interesting. Hi, I don't know what day it is. It is dark. It is not 6 a.m. in the morning. It is 6 p.m. It is dark. So me and Stella went on our wraparounds. And we saw our local bunny. I'll probably show you. Oh yeah, that thing scared you, didn't it? We have a little bunny that, like, I'm not sure if it's the same bunny, but I'm delusional, and I think it's the same bunny. So he hangs out in a little area around this time, so we saw him. I'll probably put a little video up. It'll be vertical, so it'll be really weird, but he's our local bun, and he's really cute. He's brown with a little white tail. He's really cute. So I haven't really done much reading. I mean, I've done reading, but, like, it's a lot to process, especially when it's, like, a literal, like, history and how it reads. it's not like where it's fictional where it can easily, it's easier to digest. This is not the easiest to digest because this is Native history that's never been told, that's like predominantly not talked about. So, and on top with the election that happened, we won't really go into deep into detail with that, but I have been, the last couple days, have been binge watching some Grey's Anatomy. I had watched it previously, like till like, I maybe I got to season 4, maybe it was season 4, but then I stopped because the Netflix I was using was my parents' Netflix, and it got hacked, lost my spot, so I just stopped, right? Because I'm like, well, I'm not gonna ever recover where I'm at, so. And I was like convinced, like, am I gonna get through this? But then I'm like, I watched all seasons of Golden Girls. But then I'm like, well, Golden Girls was like 30 episodes with like per season, but like their episodes were like 20 minutes long, right? But these are like 40 minutes long. The first season's 8 episodes, I think, because obviously when they test out how well the season's gonna do, and then the rest of them are like up to close to 38 episodes. So, oh shit, maybe not 38, I'm exaggerating, I'm sorry, but a lot of episodes, right? So trying it out again, it's going well. Very much, it's comforting in the way, like, I don't have to, I just watch and go, right? So I'm very much enjoying it. But back to my book, Break My Heart at Wounded Knee. So right now we're in the 1870s right now. We're going into that. So you were seeing the rise of technology through the natives' eyes, or Indians' eyes, and how the government and government officials continue to disrespect and go back on the word of what they promised in all these treaties. Like, it's like time and time again, like the Indians and the slash natives, they try and work things out, and it gets to where like they're more violent, and then you see like their more violent tendencies of how they work together, how they start scalping people. But then like you learn, like they learned those tendencies through the white settlers, which is like they learned that. So that's why like stereotypical Indians that you see. And the first one that comes up is like Dances with Wolves. You know how like Wes Studi's character, he's very violent and like scalping people, taking people out, like very much like that. But like it's like, you know, it's because like their people like learned that from the white settlers, because they kept taking their lands, starting their other people. And Custer was finally mentioned, so I'm like, ooh. And now we are learning about, because they're going into the 1870s, of where like the whole town, they're going to Washington, basically Washington's kind of built up a little bit, and how this one native ended up changing his name to a white name, and how he wanted to be a lawyer. So he's in Congress, or he's in like the Washington government at the time, of whatever it is, and he's trying to help in any way he can with the Indians and all. And then at this point, like the white settlers are like, screw the Indians, they're violent, they're savages. Only good Indian is a good Indian. But it's also like, dude, every single time like you come in and we come in and we try and fix things, we try to fix what's going on. We're like, hey, let's sell this, you know, we don't want war, we don't fight you, we kill your people. But they go in and they break their word. They go on their word. So they're saying one thing to the Indians / natives, but they're meaning another thing. They don't say what they mean ever. And at this point, I'm like, well, the government really don't care about us at all. It's very much at this point with what has happened in recent time, is that the government don't really care about us. They don't care. Like they are saying one thing to us, but they're meaning another thing. Or they're saying what they mean and dressing it up, right? Lies. And they're going back, like everything that the government promises, they're going back on it. Like whatever they promise is not what they promise. It's very disappointing. And I feel like especially with, I feel like this all, it's, I don't know the word I want to say, but everything's coming together for me. Oh my god, a car's coming. I don't want to be in the way of the car. But everything is coming together for me. I'm gonna have to act normal. Act normal, people. Act normal. We're gonna stand over here in this grassy area to see if they pass. Act normal, act normal. So go potty. Yeah, go potty. Okay, the car passed. We're good. So, I feel like right now at this point with where our government's at and how divided we are, and me reading this, everything is kind of coming together for me where it's like my eyes are being opened to things where it's like our government really don't care about us. They don't. It's like they will say anything to get a vote, right? And which sucks. It's like, dude, like there's some like, hold on, I'm trying to get my shoe because I had something in my shoe. I'm struggling. I am struggling. So it's just me. It's like it's like everything's coming together right now for me. It's just like, the government don't care about us. People don't care about us. Things were unveiled. Act normal. Car's coming. Oh, car's parking near me, very close. Act normal. Okay, they're passed. So yeah, just again, everything's coming together for me. Just about life. I mean, I feel like, I knew at some point I had rose-colored glasses a little bit, because I'm 25 now, right? I felt like, I feel like I was just 20. I feel like I just graduated. I feel like me graduating and like being 21 would just happen. But then it's also like, I'm also 25 now. The things, like, I've been out in the adult world for a little minute now. I may have been delayed in going out on my own. Moving in with my husband when we got together. I think I was 21 when I moved in. I think, yeah, I was 21. So, I mean, I got out 21, so it wasn't right at 18, but it still was when I was 21, so I was really like normal. Act normal. 2 dogs coming. So, I feel like since now I've been out in the adult world for a little bit, I knew my glasses were colored a little bit, but I didn't think, I knew, because I knew things were like, it's just now things are really coming together. Like, things are really opening up for me now where it's like, oh shit, this is fucking serious, right? But, because I knew like some serious stuff because of my childhood trauma and past and things like that. Shit's real. But like now it's like, it's a little bit extra real for me now. It's like it's getting a little fucking scary and serious out here. That I'm like, damn, is this what this is supposed to happen? Because I don't know. Anyway, I might have had a little bit of therapy session with you right now, but mine's all over the place, because I'm trying to look after Stella, and car's not gonna get hit. And I was trying to have a coherent thought, but also trying to work out my thoughts and feelings of what I'm reading, what I'm processing, especially at the time of when I'm reading and processing this it's wild. So I feel like this came together at a time for me where it's like just right, where it's like things are happening in the real world right now where it's tough and scary, and also this is eye-opening for me to know, like, the government don't give a shit about us. They would rather see the world burn than to see anything like good happen and any good diversity and peace and equality happen. And that sucks. So, like I say, so thank you for sitting with me, walking with me, and acting normal when a car walks by and when a dog walks by. And again, if this is not your content, don't leave a hateful comment, because that's not right. I'm not here for hateful comments. I mean, it's like, again, I'm educating myself, I'm learning. I am, as you can tell, I'm in the process of learning and processing what I'm learning and, what's going on around me right now. Which it is okay. It is okay to talk out your feelings, talk out your opinions, or talk out your opinions that you may be forming. Because I think that's better. I think it's better to talk out your opinions that you may be forming to see how they sound out loud. And maybe some other people can add a little tidbit to it. Maybe something, your eyes could be opened up a little bit wider. Maybe you're onto something, you never know. You know what I mean? So don't shoot down anybody's ideas that they're talking about or the opinion that they may be forming, Some people need to talk about their opinion that they may be forming. And that's okay. Ugh. I'll see you later. I'll be back to reading. And snuggling with my Stella, but she's sniffing in the dirt. Sniffing in the dirt like she always does. I gotta watch out for for toadstools out here, because they're nasty toadstools, they poisonous. But anyway, that's that. I'll see you guys later. Hey, I got my Starbucks cup full of White Claw. So, it's peach. Peach is really good. So, if I sound snotty, that's because I was just sneezing like a whole bunch of times. So chunking at this. And right now I'm reading The War for the Black Hills. So, from what I'm getting so far, this is getting into the gold rush time period. So, again, technology is rising up and the government is wanting to take more. So, Custer, he was mentioned, of course. I think this is going to go into the Little Bighorn, I think. I'm positive, right? I think it's getting into that time period, because he's been mentioned. I think he's the, yeah. So, I did, do a little note that I got from the Google. Yes, I put it on a piece of paper because I'm not gonna memorize all this. Okay, so basically what this war is, it's the Black Hill War, also known as the Great Sioux War, was a military conflict between the United States and the Sioux people and their allies. From 1876 to 1877, the war was fought over the Black Hills, which were set aside as the Great Sioux Reservation in 1868 under the Fort Laramie Treaty, which we do know beforehand that when it was signed, there were some translation issues that ignore that car. I'm sorry. They're warming up their engine, which is a good thing to do for that type of vehicle that they have. So, I'm going to sit here for a minute because it's loud. Okay, it's quieted down quite a bit. So, so the Fort Laramie Treaty that was signed, of course, they had some issues. At least that's what I read in this book. Okay, so they had some issues with translations earlier. So yeah, so we figured that out. So this was on the Fort Laramie Treaty, and of course the U.S. government ignored the treaty after the gold was discovered in the Black Hills in 1874, leading to the Black Hills Gold Rush in the war. So yeah, that's what I'm reading about right now, is how, again, Red Crow, Little Red Crow, and all these other people are going to the government and trying like, hey, I'm not giving up my land. You guys, this is our reservation. It was saved for us. XYZ, this, that, and the third. But then, yeah. So you again, I may be a broken record repeating this, but you see that the government makes all these promises and then they go back on them, right? But they don't mean what they say. But one thing that you really see is that the progression of technology and things being found, like the railroads, they're making roads straight through the native people's lands because they want to, like, transportation, cars. I'm pretty sure cars are coming up soon. Like them inventing things. The rise of technology goes up. They want to take more land. Like, then they discover, ooh, there's gold on this land, so they want to harvest that. They find that there's buffalo there, so they take all the buffalo, but they do that on purpose because they don't want the natives to be on that land, because they want the land for themselves. So they purposely take all of the resources, so where they're pushed out more, and that's like that's why they're rising up. That's why they start these wars. And like, they literally started a war because they're trying to save the buffalo, because they were taking more buffalo than what they needed on purpose. So and also one thing that I did notate in my live stream is that at the beginning of each chapter, right, of each like war that you're going over, they have a quote, obviously. They have a quote from like a native from a different tribe. They have different quotes, right? So that, but not only to have that, but starting in chapter 2 and on, they have like the year that you're reading about, like 1860 and 1861, like they have like this history information of what's going on in the world, like whatever, like what book came out that year, or like what president is elected or was re-elected, or one was James Bell. He started to invent the telephone as we know it now. Abraham Lincoln for president for June, you know, whatever that happens. Notice little things in history that was happening around that time period that you're reading about. So it's very much putting in perspective, like, yes, all of these things are happening in the time in history, right, that we read about, but also simultaneously while this is happening, the Indians of the plain lands, like out in Montana and these areas that you're reading about in the West, were like being slaughtered, having the lands being taken away, being imprisoned, being hanged. Wars are being started because they're slowly being pushed out of their lands. Their treaties are being disrespected. They are, you know, they're not being respected. Like, so I find that very interesting. Kind of puts everything like into perspective. It's like, ooh, yes, all these things in history were happening. The light bulb was being invented. The gold rush was happening. Railroad systems were being put up, but also native indigenous peoples were being slaughtered, hunted down, families being separated, forced to put in shitty ass reservations, forced to be put in schools that they don't want to be, forced to conform to Christianity when they don't want to at the same time. So it's very, very interesting. So I'm just gonna continue on reading this one. I think I don't know that much. Maybe I do, because I just started it last night. Yeah, I got about like that. Yeah, so I'm just gonna continue on reading it, and yeah, checking on this. And I don't know, and again, I don't know what this vlog is gonna be like. I know it's very, I'm forming out thoughts and opinions, right? So I think this vlog will be not only, you know, me reading Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee for the first time, but also it is okay to talk out your forming opinions and thoughts. To talk it out loud. It's okay. So, see you later. Hi. So, it is Saturday. Whatever day it is, okay? I don't know. November 23rd. Yeah. So, just finished this. This did take me a while to read, because I feel like, you can't sit down and read it all in one shot, because it's a whole lot of info, especially when like you're learning something for the first time. It's very heavy. So this is it's gonna have to be a reread on it, so where I can take notes on it in Google, which I think I kind of started doing. So here's this. So basically I ended up just finishing out you read about like the Utes must go. So basically it's like a smaller native tribe. And if I sound horrible, it's because I'm getting something again I'm getting something. Ugh. But anyway, so they run these people out, they massacre them, and they start this whole campaign of like, the Utes must go, they're savages, and basically the same thing all over again. And of course, less Apache chiefs, so you read about that. But the last two was the Dance of the Ghosts and Wounded Knee. So that basically where we really get some Sitting Bull situation going on. So Sitting Bull would speak to the government officials. So he basically is like their speaker of the Sioux people, and trying to negotiate about their land rights, reservation boundaries, and of course he fiercely resisted the U.S. government in efforts to force his Lakota tribe onto reservations and Lakota people. So he's basically speaking on behalf of most natives at the time. And so what the government wanted, they wanted to take the lands, put them on reservations, teach them how to farm, and teach them how to be white people. And so he stood up for them very fiercely. People rised up against the government, and it got to where like the government would do some shady stuff to get this signed. Like they have like little 10-year-olds signing this paper, even though they needed grown adults to sign these papers. And so they actually scheduled a meeting where they scheduled it without City Hall even knowing, and eventually that, and of course it's led to the Little Bighorn at some point. And then here comes the Ghost Dance. Ghost Dance was a spiritual movement among Native American people in the late 19th century. It was a response to the forced removal of Native Americans from their lands by white settlers and the U.S. government. The Ghost Dance was based on the teachings of a northern Penute, I cannot say that, I'm sorry, Penute spiritual leader, Wakova, who had visions of speaking with God in heaven during the solar eclipse in 1889. The movement spread to the Great Plains in 1889, and the first Ghost Dance in Oklahoma Territory was held in 1890. And of course, the Bureau of Indian Affairs regarded the Ghost Dance as a threat and ordered the arrest of Sitting Bull, who was thought to be the ringleader. And of course, he ends up dying. He ends up getting shot and killed. And then of course, this also led to Wounded Knee. So the Wounded Knee massacre occurred on December 29th, 1890, because of the U.S. Army attempted to disarm a group of Lakota Sioux who were practicing the Ghost Dance, a spiritual movement again, that incited an uprising, leading to a tense situation that escalated into a deadly confrontation when a shot was fired, resulting in a massacre of hundreds of unarmed Lakota people. So, yes. So, yeah. All of that happened, and it's just like, history repeats itself. You know that song? That's basically, you know, what this whole book details is like. I'm gonna need to watch whole documentaries here. Like the Long Walk of the Navajos, Little Crow's War, the Cheyenne War, the Powder River invasion, Red Cloud's War, Only Good Indian's a Good Indian, the War to Save the Buffaloes, the War of the Black Hills, the Utes Must Go, the Ghost Dance Wounded Knee. So basically, like all these, basically details, like most of the skirmishes that the natives have with the government, and how there's always like a few people who start all this. There's a misunderstanding because the people like it's like the white settlers are always so they're on edge for some reason by like they're intimidated by the Native Americans, right? So if someone like moves sketchy, they're in a hurry to shoot them or kill them, massacre them, because like they're just so, I don't know. It's just wild. Like it's like everything that happens, it's, you know, oh, there's Bigfoot. Yeah, that's him, dead and frozen. Yeah, you read about that. You just read about how every single time they get into a little disagreement and argument, they're so quick to shoot their guns, which I feel like, you know, we still do that. We're always so trigger happy. But yeah, so this is basically the end of this vlog. Again, I don't know what this vlog is going to be. I feel like or how it's going to turn out. I'm going to release it anyway. So I don't know if you guys will like it or not. If you guys don't like it, don't watch it, it's fine. But it's really for me personally. So, basically, I feel like this whole vlog is looking into myself. And I think also putting, like, normalizing, you know, reading untold history, reading the hard stuff, and also it's okay to talk out your forming opinions and thoughts. Talk out loud. See how they hear. See how they sound. You know, and you know, it's okay. Sometimes you're forming opinions, you know, on things. You need to talk them out loud, and I feel like that's something we need to do. So yeah, this is you know, me reading Bare My Heart at Wounded Knee for the first time, and it is okay to talk out your forming thoughts and feelings and opinions. It's okay to talk about them out loud. So I think that'll be it for today. I think I will release this on Thanksgiving. I think that's what I'll do. I think I'm releasing this on Thanksgiving, so because I feel like it's very fitting If you stuck with me through this whole thing, thank you. That's awesome. And if you have any thoughts, feelings, whatever that you need to talk out loud, you can talk them out loud with me, I guess, in the comments. And let me know if you read this, and let me know if you were inspired to read it because I read it. So I hope you guys are having a lovely morning, day, evening, night, to wherever you guys are at in this world. And I hope I will see you on the next video, vlog, live stream, short, or wherever it may be. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye.